Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. If you have any questions as we go through this, be sure to post it in our comments section or in our stream section. And once we get through this, we will see if there's any that we can answer. But we are going to make this very brief. I'm here with Dave. He's a co-host. He's one of our mastermind council members, and I also co-host the This Is Not a Shill Show with him. And excited to be here. Excited to have you with us, Dave. Appreciate it. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. Happy to be here. It's been an exciting day with some stuff going on behind the scenes for me. So I'm excited to hear a little bit more about this and hear you present this overview, Metal. It's going to be good to get it focused and narrowed down in one place.
Yeah, and to speak to that comment you just made, Dave does a show called Voice Notes Suck. It's pretty cool. It's pretty funny. And they just had some milestones that they hit and got some pretty cool stuff coming out. So excited for you on that, and looking forward to how that's going to, all benefit everybody here as well. So just really excited to be here. And I'm going to, without further ado, I am going to go through this a little bit quicker, a little more snappy than we have in the past. I want this to be kind of an overview and a recap, so that anyone who's really looking into where we're at and what we're doing, where we're going, can do so in 30 minutes. So if we can wrap this up in 30 minutes, I'm going to be excited. If it goes over a little bit, I'm not going to be too stressed out, but we really do want to kind of keep it to that. So just as a quick overview, this whole new chapter for Axion, we're calling it the new frontier, the next frontier. Because really, we are in, when it comes to DeFi, we're constantly in flux and in a transition. And this really is going to be a completely new frontier for Axion. We've been discussing this roadmap now for almost 6 months. We started our voting process. Let me see if I can pull this up quickly. I was prepared. So we started the voting process back in September, the first part of September. So we've been engaged in this process of kind of redefining Axion and establishing a new direction for Axion, and we're doing it through the Axion DAO. And I'm going to let the presentation speak for itself. It's real easy to get sidetracked and to speak ahead of time, but we've established our mastermind council to help govern the project, and we've kind of started rolling out this new vision. The last couple of votes, we're basically breaking the mold as we look at redefining our tokenomics, looking at our reward system, and what we can and can't do. And if you're not familiar with these votes, we highly encourage you to go read through the previous votes. I may do that in this presentation, depending on how much time we have. But going through and reading each of the votes that have already passed is critical. That will tell you exactly what's new, what's happening, and what things are going to look like once we relaunch on Base. And now we're looking at laying the foundation. We're looking at the current vote that's up right now is looking at continuing to use the accelerator as one of our processes for minting the Axion token. And for generating revenue to keep the project so that the project can continue to move forward, pay our bills, and to have a team that's running the project. Up until now, for the last couple of years, I've been sitting at the helm, so to say, as a volunteer. It's been exciting. It's been rewarding for me. The fact that that there hasn't been compensation is really negligible in everything else that I've been able to accomplish, experience, learn, and grow from. So I'm excited for this new chapter. And I'm just going to start going through this real quick. Again, a lot of this, if you've been following along with us this whole time, is not going to be new news. There's not going to be a whole lot of new news in this presentation. This really is for people who have just not kept up with things and are looking to get caught up on where we're at. So we have been establishing the Axion DAO. We are looking to legitimize the DAO by filing as a DAO in the state of Utah under the Utah Legislative Corporate Code. And we're looking to adopt the corporate structure of a cooperative, which will allow us to offer rewards for stakers in a way that conforms to U.S. law. This is one of the biggest aspects of this whole process is to actually file Axion as a legal entity in the United States, and to ensure that as we move forward and as people engage in that process with us, they are entitled to some of the rewards that will come from the successes that we see as we move forward. I am going to go kind of organic on this. I'm not going to read these slides word for word, but I should be talking long enough that you can read along with this and kind of get an idea and an overview of what's happening and where we're at and what's next. I am, and this will also be mentioned again in another slide, but we are creating a community forum for people to submit their proposals. What we're looking at right now is how best to token gate those proposals, so that we know that they're coming from legitimate members of the DAO, stakers, and so we're working through that process right now, and that's really what we're doing. So one of the biggest things that I want to express and share, and this may only be mentioned once or twice through this process, because to a large extent it's going to be part of our marketing campaign. And there's certain aspects of this I don't want to tip our hats too soon, but we are documenting this process and in some respects over documenting this process so that we can compile that information into a very comprehensive white paper, support docs, maybe even something you can purchase on Amazon. It's real critical that we do these live streams, that we document the process, creating these slides, doing the articles on Medium, the announcements in Discord. These are all a part of that process of documenting everything that we're doing moving forward. We are in talks now with Robert Lamb, the attorney who established the DAO Act in the state of Utah. And he is looking to assist us in navigating this process so that it's optimized and we leverage the best features, if you will, the best aspects of this legislation that was passed. And I'm looking forward to participating with Robert even beyond this this initial establishing our DAO. And maybe even looking at participating in legislation on a federal level. So we'll see. But these are the goals that I have personally, and that I believe will really benefit Axion, and it will really give us a voice when it comes to the future of DeFi on the blockchain. So some of the other things that we're going to be looking at doing is establishing our terms and conditions for the membership, creating our white paper, and then re-establishing our investment clubs, or the process for us to participate in launches. This is really for me is a pretty exciting aspect, that an opportunity that will be presented as we legitimize the filings for Axion. we will be able to establish investment clubs and participate in fundraising in a way that is protected under U.S. law. Got to follow guidelines. You got to have bylaws, and that's all. That's everything that we're establishing right now. And we're excited about the opportunities that it will give us to develop things out for in the future. So a vision for our future, doing the unexpected. At the risk of repeating myself too much, we have an opportunity to be one of the first legally registered DAOs. There are several out there that have registered, but all of them that have registered that I've looked into up until now, none of them are actually active yet. They're, I think they're in the exploratory phase, and doing something similar to what we're doing, in that they're trying to be the first to file or the first to be out there. But I haven't seen anybody with a comprehensive roadmap like what we've put together so far. So big pat on the back to those who have been participating in that process with us and helping us make that possible. Some of the things that we've already gone through the voting process is, again, establishing the Mastermind Council, creating the DAO, leveraging our unclaimed Bitcoin rewards in the Bitcoin reward wallet. And so we started that process 2 months ago, and there's going to probably be at least another 2 months to go. The 90 days for that started at the end of that vote. And we will start mentioning that a little bit more as we approach the end of that claim process. But to date, out of 10.5 Bitcoin, just over 1/2 of 1 Bitcoin has been claimed so far. That's it. And that's in 60 days, which really feeds to our expectation that the vast majority of that wallet will never be claimed. And we can use that as a community to rebuild the foundation of our token and actually potentially create some real value behind the token itself, mitigating the fact that those rewards have been canceled as far as they were done in the past. Now we're still going to look to do rewards in the future, but how we do that needs to conform with U.S. law. And we're looking to have a nice, dynamic, paid team that can lead us on a daily basis, that is engaged in this process as a primary focus. So for all intents and purposes, I've already had conversations with my bosses, and they know that at some point here in the near future, I will be putting in a notice so that I can work full time on Axion, and I'm excited about that opportunity. And specifically the opportunities to build beyond Axion, because that's really what we're doing, is setting a foundation that we can build on. Here's part of that vision. So some of the things we would like to do in legitimizing DeFi is to establish the blockchain university. One of the biggest frustrations for me is seeing people get scammed on a regular basis, and even people who know better have been scammed. People who actually understand that this is possible find themselves in a predicament where they are scammed. So we hope to mitigate that for people coming onto the blockchain in the future, because ultimately it will feed into that future success, not just for Axion, but the blockchain itself. Some of the things that I've talked to with L.L.D are creating an Axion incubator, doing sponsored hackathons, and doing contract auditing and doxing services. These are going to be critical for this new chapter that's kind of unfolding for DeFi. And with this new administration in the United States, the the positives outweigh the negatives at this point. So hopefully we can capitalize on that with this new legislation and this new administration, and actually do something that will make a big difference on the blockchain. Once we have relaunched on Base, we are going to look at redeveloping and relaunching the Launchpad so that we can participate in launches through our investment clubs. And we're going to be looking at a multi-tiered process and different ways that projects can raise funds, including registered fundraisers. Registered fundraisers in the United States that can access our investment clubs, and our investment clubs will have access to registered fundraisers in the United States. That's really an exciting opportunity. And we very well could be one of the first to actually accomplish that. If I have my way, if we're successful, then that will be done. And I'm excited about that opportunity. And we're also going to be restoring the reward system, but it needs to be done in a way that conforms to U.S. law. And that way, gosh, we could, if we invest in a couple of other projects that do really well, those profits from that investment can come back, and those who are part of the DAO can all benefit from that. So that's one of the primary goals that we have moving forward. And there's this little tag at the end of this slide. Gosh, I only have 10 minutes, Dave. I can't. This is crazy. When looking at future development, you also have to look at exit strategies. So with everything that we're doing, there's an exit strategy as far as, like, for instance, the accelerator. The accelerator will have an end of life on it once it's minted the max supply that we have set for the tokens. And that exit strategy applies to leadership. I want to pave a way so that someone can easily step into my role or easily join our mastermind council, and so that the governing body of Axion can continue after after I'm old and gone. So let's see here. Getting there from here. So I am going to zip through the rest of this to a degree. We've already voted on and passed the proposal to claim the unclaimed Bitcoin. You can pause it, read through this to see exactly how those funds will be allocated. And we just finished our tokenomics vote. This is the structure and the foundation that our tokenomics will be based on, and how we will not only reduce the overall supply without there being this a loss in value from where we're at today, but give us a stronger foundation for the different aspects of the project, and enable us to build, to invest, and to grow moving forward. So if you have any questions on this, I am going to flip over to comments, but if you do have any questions on this, feel free to ask them here, or you can go to our Discord. It's discord.gg/Axion, and you can engage with us there. We have a questions and concerns thread. We have AMA questions thread, and we have various different ways that you can find the information you're looking for. Unlike when we moved from Ethereum to Polygon, it will be a claiming process to acquire your tokens, specifically because the dynamics of the ecosystem are going to be changing so much that it would not work to do a snapshot and a airdrop. So we are going to be doing a claiming process. This will also ensure that those who unfortunately lost their keys or were scammed or anything else, those stakes and those tokens ultimately will never be minted into circulation. We are looking at, we haven't voted on this yet. This vote will probably come up closer as we get closer to launch, but we are looking at a claiming process where if it's 5 years from now, there will be a fee you will need to pay in order to claim. That'll be twofold. It will ensure that the project is it remains fluid as far as cash flow, but it's also a way for us to gauge that future max supply. Again, for the first 6 months, there's not going to be any fees to do your claims. There might be a $50 charge after 6 months, so on and so forth, as it's outlined here. However, we will have a waiver form that you can fill out. And those that fill out the waiver form, we will look at those as a case-by-case basis. Because if your stakes or your claim is less than the value of the charge, it's silly to charge that. But if Axion is doing very well and that claim is extremely valuable, then it's just a processing fee. But that will come down the road, and it will apply to our relaunch. So as we get closer to the actual relaunch, this might change a little bit based on conversations, and then based on the results of the proposal that we put forth to the community. We're looking at simplifying the process without changing Axion. So we're keeping the accelerator. That's the vote that's in process right now. We would like to keep the accelerator. Let's see, I'm gonna go over here real quick. Yeah. It's a dual purpose. It will mint the remaining tokens for our max supply, and we receive a small chunk of revenue through the use of the accelerator. So all of that will go to help continue to keep Axion sustainable. I anticipate the accelerator will still last anywhere from 2 to 3 years based on this. So it's going to take us quite a while to get to that 250 million max supply. We're looking at keeping the collider as a promotional tool. That will be that vote will be coming out in the next couple of days, I think. We're going to be exploring what parts of our NFT collection we keep, what will stay on base or what will stay on Polygon, what will be eliminated, and how we will look at bringing some of the features of our NFTs into the base ecosystem. And the rest I'll let you just read through. We've already mentioned those items. So getting to work. And I've got 3 minutes. What do you think? You think I'll do this in 3 minutes?
I think you need to get used to it.
So we've had votes related to our administration policies, our legal structure, leveraging the Bitcoin. I am going to be getting the community proposal form up next. That will be one of my primary focuses over the next few days. If I can figure out a way, it's either going to be a manual way of verifying that these are stakeholders that are doing the proposals. Because frankly, right now, we still don't have the funds to start the development. I hope to start development within the next 2 weeks. But for the community proposal form, we just probably going to have to start out with a manual process. We're currently voting on keeping or ending the accelerator and the collider, our NFTs, and the tokenomics claiming process will be soon. I did it. So our current vote right now is centered on the accelerator. I highly encourage you to read through that proposal in its entirety. And I really would like to encourage everybody to read back through all of the previous votes. It will give you a very good insight into what the tokenomics are going to look like, where the philosophy behind Axion is headed, and what's possible as we move forward. And I'm excited. I did that in 30 minutes. Did it feel rushed? I felt rushed, but I don't know.
You rushed through the second part of it, I'd say. So you probably got caught up on a couple of things that maybe you didn't need to earlier on, and then you had to compensate a little towards the end. So that's probably why. But no, I think for the most part you did a good job. Anyone who's not been keeping up to date will get a good overview of the picture in about 25 minutes. And anyone that is keeping up to date has just had it all summed up and rounded up for them in one place.
So, and if we go over a few minutes here, it's okay, because now I can actually relax and I'm comfortable and I'm not feeling like I'm missing or forgetting something. But, you and I have been talking about this now for quite a long time, and you've really been there since, with us doing the This Is Not a Shield show. You've been there, and I don't think you realize this, but you've been there about you stepped into my life about halfway through this journey that I've been on for Axion. So you didn't miss a whole lot. But I just have a question for you, and I don't want to put you on the spot. So if there's really nothing, that comes to mind, don't worry about it. But we've been talking about this process for a long time. Is there anything about this process that has stood out to you that I didn't cover, or that maybe we can just chat about for a second?
Yeah, but there's a couple of things that I think have really stood out for me, and potentially why you and I have connected so well. And I think the first thing to say is I've been on the outskirts of the Axion system since October, November 2021 in one way or another, like without being directly involved. When Shane hosted the Warp competition with the NFT project, so I was probably the key contributor in getting people together to be able to host that competition, find the entrants, get a couple of the sponsors involved. So in one way or another, I have kind of been contributing to Axion since before I've actually got involved and purchased some of the token and got staked. I think the thing for me that is the want to do it legitimately, and the want to turn it into a verifiable sort of trading investment vehicle that is backed by US regulations. And that's the biggest thing is, from my perspective, and why I've aligned so much with you, is because I think we need more legitimacy in and around the industry. And it's things like this. It's exploring this journey. It's been part of it. It's been able to chime in with some suggestions, relevant or not, and hopefully being able to pass that knowledge on in the future to other people, and to use this experience to benefit other people that want to be a legitimate business, whether that's a NFT startup business that's just putting a product or a service out there, or whether that's a full financial instrument and vehicle such as what Axion wants to be.
Right. Yeah. And the amazing thing is I never thought it was going to be possible at this level this quick. When we started exploring this, I was looking at it from that philosophical perspective as far as establishing the Axion DAO. I don't think we would do anything different. In fact, I know we wouldn't be doing anything different, really. But it's ironic that the opportunity to file the Axion DAO as a legal entity only came to our attention as we were going through this process, literally. Because it was all philosophical until I refreshed a page on the Utah corporate government page and saw this tab that said new, and it said the DAO Act. And after I got done picking myself up off the floor and closing my mouth because it kept dropping, but that's really when things got real and it got exciting. And it blew my mind, that as we were going through this exercise, we came across this legislation that was passed last year. It was only made available in 2020, or it passed in actually 2023. It wasn't made available to the state of Utah, to organizations in the state of Utah, until the first part of January. But it wasn't even posted on their website as a process until back in September, October, November, something like that. And so, fate, destiny, the universe is talking to us, whatever it might be. We are literally on the cusp of this opportunity, and we are going to be kind of one of the first to start paving this road. I think about the establishment of the United States, and it took 50 years for people walking, mind you, from the East Coast to the West Coast, and creating trails for people to follow behind them. And that's really what we're doing here for DeFi. Is we're going to be one of the first out there trying to figure out where to best
pioneers.
Yep, pioneers. Where to best carve this road. So we're excited, and we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. We're at 35 minutes. 5 minutes of banter. That's good, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget you had 2 minutes of intro at the beginning as well. So like it's like 32 and a half minutes. It's a good length for a show, Mel. Maybe about 5 minutes too long.
No, I think it's perfect. So with that, thank you for joining me, Dave. I appreciate it. Looking forward to what we can do on the council with the council members. We do have 2 applications right now that I'm looking at, and I'm going to reach out to them right away. So hopefully, possibly, we might have a couple of new members on our council next week. So we'll see how that goes.
That's really positive news. Have we thought about the potential of nominations as well? And I know not all people nominated would want to be on it, but is it something worth considering? Just as a final spanner in the works before you end this live stream.
Well, I think that is how some of the bylaws will be drafted up. And what we're dealing with right now is, literally, defining this process as we go. But in the future, you will submit. So this is how Sporktow did it. They found people who were interested in being on their board, which is what we call the Mastermind Council. And they had several people express interest in being on the board. And then the community voted on those individuals because there was only a few slots to fill. That is something we will definitely, that's a switch we will flip on when our community engagement is really at a respectable level.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Up until then, it's going to be an organic process, but eventually, especially once we're on base, once we have all of the contracts written, all of the processes established, the bylaws are written, and everything is put together, we will definitely be looking at doing it that way. So,
okay,
absolutely.
No, it makes a huge amount of sense as well. So, no, thank you, Mel.
All right. Well, hey guys, it's been real. It's been fun, and I'm excited that we were able to do it so quickly. We'll see you on Discord. Join us on X. I do a show with Dave here on Fridays, but the This Is Not a Shill is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on X. We explore different topics throughout the week. And it's a great place to kind of catch some alpha from me once in a while. So without further ado, I guess we'll call that a wrap. Thank you, Dave. And we'll see you tomorrow.